Good afternoon, people. It's your boy Spud the Barber coming to you one more time with another episode of What's Going On. Today I got a special guest, a good friend of mine, goes by the name of Ice. Today we're going to be talking about some things that will help you in your journey to try to better yourself as a person. By sharing our experiences, the things that we've been through, and the things that help us turn ourselves around because we too at one time was lost. So I'll start off with myself. Coming up, a lot of things that I got into, I just didn't have to do it. I did it because I was curious, just like a lot of young men. And my curiosity, sure enough, caught up with me and got me in trouble. In fact, they sent me to the penitentiary twice. Not to say that it was exactly a bad thing, simply because I was able to learn a lesson from it and grow from it. But everybody's not in that same position mentally to accept and absorb the things that come into their life like that. So today, I want to give some courage to those who have been down the same path that I have, to let them know that it's not over and things can change. Now, starting off with myself, like I said, I didn't have to do some of the things I did. But just like in them old movies you see with some across that railroad track, when I heard that music, I had to be part of it. And I went out there and took my chances and ended up spending the majority of my youth in and out of incarceration. If it wasn't in prison, it was definitely the jail. This is time that I can't get back. I appreciate the times that I did have, because like I said, I did learn a lesson. Now, it took me a while to understand things, and that's part of growing up. Nothing happens overnight. You can't plant a seed today and eat the fruit tomorrow no more than you can get a girl pregnant today and have a baby tomorrow. Everything is a process. So it took me 20-some years, and I'm hoping that when I share what I got, that it won't take the next person 20-some years. 20 years you can't get back. So, it took me a time to go through and meeting different people, and most of all, listening to their story and understand they weren't no different than me. They just changed the way they were living. When things weren't working out for them, they decided they was going to do it a different way, and that's basically how things go. If you see that you're not making it on the path that you're on, then get off that path, brother. Get off that path. So it's no need for you to keep going down that road. You're wasting time. And like I said before, time is something you cannot get back. So I encourage you to think about how you're living. If you don't like it, like I didn't, I sat back, analyzed myself and the things that was happening to me and why. And what could I do to make them change? Because it was obvious nobody else was trying to change it for me. So, it took some time for me to realize that I didn't know everything, first of all. And I needed to listen to other people to see how did they solve the problems they had that came before me. And it made life just that much simpler for me. Now I also learned how to listen to other people as far as what they got going on and stop trying to force my opinion and my thoughts on somebody else all the time. That's just not how it works. Especially when you're in a relationship or something. If you want things to be successful and there's somebody else involved, then you have to be willing to compromise and listen to that person also for the betterment of both of you. But it starts with self. You have to get your mind in a place that you figured out what you want to do in life and how you're going to go about it. That means you have to put a plan together. Without a plan, nothing is successful. You're just wasting your time, chasing your tail, as they say. And it doesn't have to be that way. So you map things out. If you want to get a car, like I say, you say, well, I want this car. I'm going to find out how much it costs. I'm going to see how much I got. And if I don't have enough, I'm going to do what it takes to get there. But once again, this is not overnight. Change doesn't happen overnight like that. You didn't get in the situation you're in overnight, and you're not going to get out of it overnight. But you will be able to get out of it. It's nothing, absolutely nothing you can get into that you can't get out. If you can't get out, you couldn't have never got in. If it's one door, that means you went in it, then damn it, turn around and come on back out. If it's one window, the same principle applies. Just go through it, and if you don't like it, turn around and come on back out. That's all you got to do. But first and foremost, if you want some change in your life, you have to get your thoughts together and put a plan together and put that plan in motion to be successful. It's not hard. When I decided I wanted to be a barber, I just went and found out what it took to get into school, to get my license. And as I went through my career, I started observing other barbers, mainly the owners, and realized that I could do the same thing. But most of all, I realized who I was to start with. I was already self-employed. I was just renting a chair just like somebody rent a building. So I've learned how to have confidence in myself and know where I'm at. And that's key to success. You got to be confident in yourself, and you have to believe in yourself. Because don't nobody love you like you love you. Your dream ain't nobody else's dream. That's your dream. So you have to see it through. So you have to put forth what it takes to make that happen. That's what I'm telling you, people. Like, everything that you think is impossible is definitely possible. I'm no different than the next person, and nobody's no different than me. And if I could turn my life around, so can you. Am I perfect? No. Am I striving to be? I'm not striving to be perfect, but I'm definitely always striving to be better. Nobody's going to be perfect. It's impossible. Pick your head up, people. Pick your head up. It ain't nothing to be sad about. You know, you have a way to make things different because you are in more control than you could ever imagine. You just have to believe it. And as long as you believe it, it can happen. Let my guest speak to you for a minute, and maybe he could say some things that could connect with somebody a little different from me. But the goal is to encourage people, to let them know that they can do something better with themselves. No matter what you've already done, that's yesterday, and yesterday is gone. Let's get right today so we can make tomorrow a little better. Right now, I'm gonna let my guest Ice speak, and I hope y'all get something out of this.
Appreciate it, Spud. Thank you for having me over here, and what's going on. So my story is kind of similar to his. As far as I was definitely lost on the wrong side of the tracks. Like I said, I thought the music over there was a lot better. Exactly.
Sure.
So, yeah, it did look good. At the time, I was young, and I didn't have to do that. Like I wasn't raised like super bad. Like I didn't grow up in a super bad household, but I was real sheltered. So once I really got out on my own, and I started to see, well, these guys over here, they getting all the girls, they living the
money.
dream, getting money, they living it up. So maybe what I'm doing wrong, and I need to go see what that life is about. And like you said, like once you in there, it's a hard road to get out, but you definitely can get out of it. And I did the same thing. I realized, like, growing up in it, this ain't where it's at, but while you in it, you don't know that. You don't really see anything else outside of the world. Like, well, this is it. This is what's in front of me. This is all I know. This is all I'm gonna be.
Right.
All that I can be is great at this. I can be a great drug dealer, a great burglar,
great at getting locked up.
Exactly. In and out of jail is part of the lifestyle. Getting shot is just part of the lifestyle, and that's not the way life's supposed to be. So anywho, like I said, I did my time in prison, and the hardest part for that was my son was just born, and like I'm missing his first words, first steps.
Right.
I'm missing all this stuff, and I'm like, why am I missing this? And I put myself in this situation. So when I got out, I'm like, I need to do something different because I'm definitely not gonna miss out on another day of his life.
That's right.
So first thing I did was change my friends, like change my surroundings. Like, my friends, they still my friends. I love them to death, but I can't grow with y'all in my circle. Like if I see y'all, is what's up, I love you, but I'm on this path. If y'all still on that path,
right. That's right.
We just gonna keep it moving.
Basically, be man enough to be a man. That's all. Stand on your own.
Exactly. Like everybody ain't meant to be in your life forever.
That's right.
So second thing I did was find new hobbies, like find different things that I want to be into, and that's how I got into fitness and traveling and stuff like that. Like I didn't know how big the world was until I actually got out to see it. And and anybody can travel. Like I'm not super rich. Like I save up for it, and let's say I want to go to Costa Rica somewhere. Like if it could take me a year and a half of saving, but hey, this is my goal to get here. So if you got a goal to see something new, just make it happen. Make the sacrifices and make it happen. And it's like I said, it's about sacrifice. Life is about sacrifice. Anything you want, you make the proper sacrifices, whether it's, hey, I need to study. Hey, I need to, learn a new trade.
Get a car.
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly. Like, is nothing is just all right overnight. Even like I said, I'm into fitness. Like, I didn't get in shape from day one to day two. Like, it took me a while. Like, so I had to sacrifice. I had to become disciplined, just like you can be for whatever you wish to accomplish in life.
That's right. A lot. I realized today after talking to some other people before we came on that when you're young and you don't really have the proper guidance of a male figure, especially your own father,
Correct.
things get a little rough on a young man because he's trying to do the right thing, but he's basing it on what he sees better than what he knows because he don't know yet. And the only way I know and anybody else know, sometimes, man, you got to go through the fire to know it's hot.
Yeah.
That's just the simple
Yeah.
facts of it. I mean, we can all be in the window looking and saying how nice things are and how good things look. But I could give you the same resources and you just squander it away because
Correct.
you don't know what to do with the resources. And that's more important than anything. The knowledge will always carry you further than any dollar ever could. You have to know what's going on because if you don't, then you're lost.
Exactly.
If you don't know the
whole
rules of the
give a man a
game,
fish, teach him
how
how to
can
fish.
you play the game? You're out of bounds before you even get on the field. So you need this knowledge before you step out there, and it's called equipping you with the armor you need to survive. They ain't talking about no pistol, no daggone bulletproof vest all the time. They talking about the knowledge to stay out of them situations. So you won't have nobody shooting at you. You won't have the need to have to tote a gun. There's nothing wrong with protecting yourself. But when you out here protecting yourself because you in the war zone, you bring your ass on out the war zone.
Exactly.
Try that first.
Exactly.
Try that before you try to get you a pistol that's going to send you to penitentiary or get you killed. Come on out the war zone. And knowledge will teach you that. When you're young, in your 20s, you see what you think is a success story and other relationships and things of that nature, and you try to be like that person or that couple. Well, you can't be them. You are you. And all you got to do is try to be the best you know how to be. But it has to be order in your life. Things are done in proper order. Like I said, you don't get no girl pregnant today and have a baby tomorrow. You don't go to kindergarten today and get a bachelor's degree tomorrow.
Exactly.
It don't work that way. You, like the man said, you got to get disciplined. You got to sacrifice. But it's all worth it. It's all worth it. The way you can sit down and plan out something to get you in a better position is no different than the man who sits down and ponders, how am I going to rob this bank?
Yep.
How am I going to sell this kid cocaine? He want to know. So right there, it's obvious you planning. That means everything takes planning and organization. You have to do things in order. So what makes you think if you can sit down and plan something negative that you couldn't plan something positive? That's just impossible.
Exactly. Like, and you look at, like, most people already have the skill to make something out of themselves. Like, let's say for example, prison. Everybody, I'm gonna say like 80% of the prison population know how to make a swole kit, right? Who's the one person that went to prison, learned how to make a swole kit, came home
And
made it into a $1 million?
Right,
so
correct.
like nobody's thinking like that. Like, oh, who gonna buy these swole kits? Like,
Right.
But it's a market for it. Like, I mean,
It's always
yeah.
a market. It might not be a market as big as you think, but not one person on earth just likes this one thing. It's a group of people that like it. If you like riding horses, it's a group of people like riding
Exactly.
horses. Believe it.
Exactly.
So you just got to believe in yourself, but most of all, do some research. Research starts with asking people, reading for yourself. You young folks know Google. You Google something in a minute, so Google that. It's just a step away in your hand. The information is there all the time, 24/7. People, I see you going to sleep with your phone in your hand sometimes. So don't tell me you ain't got the information in your hand. It's there. The thing is, you have to do something to better yourself because nobody else can do it for you. Young men, like I say, you got to gain the confidence in yourself. Understand that you're not going to always be right. It's not about always being right. It's about taking the steps necessary to see if you're right or wrong. But you will never know you're wrong if you are right if you don't take that step.
You don't try.
You got to go out there. When you're in a relationship, you're in a family situation, young men, when somebody tell you that the man is the head of the household, that don't mean because your ding dong bigger than everybody else. That don't mean because you can stomp your foot and raise all the hell up in the house. That don't mean that. That means that you are responsible for these people in here. And when you make that decision, you have to include them all the way. That this has to benefit or gonna hurt the whole household. You can't be, I'm just gonna worry about me. You can't do that. If you're going to do that, then go on out there by yourself.
By yourself, exactly. If you're the head of the household,
that's right.
Come with the saying, like, heavy is the head that wear the crown.
That's right.
And it's a lot of responsibility. Like, most people only think about with themselves. Well, I'm out here, I'm hustling for my family, but you're not really hustling for your family.
Yeah, because you at the mall every time I'm trying to get the new Jordans.
Exactly. I'm doing it for myself, but it's a selfish decision.
Right. Sometimes, this is just my opinion, but when you're in a relationship, like I told my wife, this is all about me. I'm a little selfish. And when I say that, I'm selfish for a good reason. Because as long as I care that I got somewhere to stay, that means you got somewhere to stay.
Yeah.
When I stop caring, then all hell gonna break loose. You understand me? I listen to people sit there and tell me I pay my bills. What damn it you supposed to pay?
Yeah, exactly.
What you think, you gonna live scot-free? Don't nobody live scot-free, people. So if you're in a relationship and all that, then you should figure out how y'all gonna come together so y'all can move forward together. If you're not together, if you're going ahead and leaving the other one behind, and it's not about who makes the most, because whoever makes the most today, getting sick tomorrow can end all of that.
Exactly.
So now you got to be dependent on the other person. So why don't you depend on them now and make them feel as though y'all are together so they have no problem stepping in when the time comes. You looking for accolades, you don't get no pat on the back for doing what you supposed to do. It's what you supposed to do. You supposed to make groceries. You supposed to pay the light bill. You supposed to pay the babysitter. Just like you think you supposed to get that sack. You supposed to get that bottle. You understand me? Yeah, it's Friday. I worked all week. I need mine.
I need this.
Yeah, I need mine. Well, what you think? The people out there that light place don't need that. They need that too, baby.
Exactly.
So y'all think about some of the stuff y'all doing, man. Like I said, it's nothing with taking chances. You know what I'm saying? You'll never know what's pretty if you haven't seen something ugly. You won't know what's sweet unless you had something sour. You need a comparison, and that's what life is all about. That is the fork in the road when they say you have a choice. Everybody has a choice. When you come to a dilemma, you got to figure out which way I'm going to go, right or left. But before you go, look at the signs. They're always on the road. They always on the road. On the road to where you got, it was signs. So when you got there to that fork in the road, you would already know where to go. But if you undecided, I understand. Maybe you missed that part of the test. I don't know. But you're here now. What you gonna do about it? Huh? You can't go down there and kill your damn self. Huh? But when you get down there, you figure out, oh man, I took the wrong turn. You just reset that GPS and get the hell out of there and head for high ground. That's all. It's just that simple. Sometimes the answer won't come to you all at once, and that's fine. Sometimes you need to think it out a little more. Don't be afraid to be afraid. Don't be afraid to be afraid, because sometimes being afraid will save you. It don't mean that you have to stop. And let me rephrase that. Don't be afraid, but be aware. Be aware of the consequences that could happen. What could happen? If I got a tire that keep going down, what we do? I'm going to run over here and get this tire for $25, $30. But damn, one good brand new tire don't cost $70. But you want about 40.
Yeah.
Come on now. Think out what you're doing. Let your moves make sense. Let it count. Like I tell you, let everything you do, let it be for a reason. Let it be because I'm trying to move forward. And if you don't move forward, don't let it be something. Don't try to blame somebody else. Look at yourself. Like the people say, go to that mirror. And if you can address that person in the mirror, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right.
No, also, just in closing, what I want to say is, don't be afraid of change. A lot of people comfortable with where they at in life, and, just as long as, you feel like, hey, I get to smoke every day. I get to drink every day.
But it's like, my bills paid.
Yeah, exactly. My bills paid. Get to hang out with my homies. Like,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to change, man. Like I said earlier in the conversation, like, everybody and everything aren't meant to be in your life forever. So this may be what God got for you right now, or whoever you believe in, whatever your higher power is. But this may be what is meant for you right now. But hey, next year and the year after that could be a whole new thing. And so just be willing to embrace change. Like, you see something new, like, sometimes it's some BS, but you embrace it. Like, hey, this could be the step to, me getting to whatever. Like, I want to open up my own nail salon. I want to move these Chinese people out of my neighborhood. I want to open up my own hair place. Like, start off, you just buy yourself a small bundle. You buy a bundle of boys. So exactly.
That's right. You always think about the flip, but you're thinking about it in the wrong way.
Exactly. Like, like the hair market in the community, like, that is a big market. And if you just start off small, just buy a couple bundles of hair, a year or two from now, you can have your own spud hair salon, hair supplies. So just embrace change. Like, take whatever you feel like the most, and use that to change your life.
That's right. When you see somebody out there that's doing something that you think you want to do, don't be afraid to ask them. More people are willing to share knowledge than you could ever believe. And what one person won't do, another one will. Don't let that discourage you if somebody do turn your way. You know that who you are and what you really want. So don't let nobody stop you. Some people you will encounter will take you as a joke because they feel like they beyond you or whatever the reason, but they're not. You feel like that if you allow them to make you feel that way, then you're not sure who you are. You need to get that confidence I was talking about and let nothing stop you. The same way you let nothing stop you when you want to do something wrong. You can't let things stop you. If you don't let it stop you doing wrong, why would you ever let it stop you from doing right?
Exactly.
That don't make no sense. But the will and the drive has to be in you. You have to get that going. You have to stoke that fire to make yourself come out and do what need to be done so you can be successful, so you can prosper, so you can grow. You want to see some shiny fruit, fresh fruit from a tree, then you got to nourish that tree. You want to see that baby grow, then you got to nourish that baby. It's a reason that baby on milk, and you just don't run up there and give the steak for it because it ain't ready for that. That ain't proper order. You can't give a baby no steak if you wanted to. Baby ain't got no damn teeth. The baby got to get what it can digest, what it can handle. And that's the same thing when you new to anything. You a baby. You're a baby in it. So I can't dump all the information on you at one time. I got to give it to you in chapters. Same way you get into school. We start in chapter 1, we take a test. We go to chapter 2, we take a test. You understand me? When you read the whole book, we take what they call the final exam.
Exactly.
You understand me? It's a process, people. Don't be afraid to go through a process when you want something, especially if you want it right. Huh? When you cook your egg, if you don't want no runny egg, then let the egg stay in the pan a little while. You understand me? Just let the egg sit a little bit. It's going to be all right. You're going to get your egg. I promise you. Just take that and put it in your mind, etch it in your mind and heart that if you want change, you have to dictate that change. You have to get the instruction for the type of change that you are looking for. Because without no instruction, you are lost. In any game you participate, including the game of life, without instruction, proper instruction, you are lost. You defeated before you get started. And it don't have to be that way. But you can dictate how that go if you plan your steps out.
One more thing I want to touch on too, as far as planning steps out, like you said, don't be afraid to invest your money. You know what I mean? Like, say if I come to you like, hey man, I got this plan. It's gonna make us $5 million in the next 5 years. All I need you to do is put up $500 and we can, get the ball rolling. You be like, nah, man, you tripping. But if I tell you, hey, the Powerball at $5 million, how many tickets you gonna buy and lose and lose and lose and lose?
Right.
So don't be afraid to invest your money. Like you're already investing your money in other people without even knowing it. Like I said, that Powerball, like that $5 million come from your money that you keep putting in. So
that's right.
So like, don't be afraid to invest your money to, you know, help your future.
That's right. Listen, people, I want to thank y'all for tuning in today. I've enjoyed this conversation. I hope that it helps somebody in their travels down that road when they think they lonely, ain't nobody else understanding. It ain't never like that. You are never, ever going to be the only one going through it. Definitely not the only one that went through it. And you're not going to be the last one to go through it. So it's going to be all right. As my grandma used to say when the swelling go down. Y'all take care.
All right.
And once again, it's good to hear from y'all. And y'all take care of yourself. Thank you.
That's what's going on.